Christy Mirack was a 25-year-old elementary school teacher in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. She was beloved by her students and respected by fellow educators at Rohrerstown Elementary School. Known for her bright smile and upbeat personality, Christy had a promising life ahead of her. But in December 1992, her life was brutally cut short inside her own home. On the morning of December 21, 1992, Christy failed to show up for work. Her absence was unusual, and school officials became worried. A school principal decided to check on her and drove to her home. When he arrived, he found the front door slightly ajar. Inside, he discovered a horrifying scene. Christy had been beaten, sexually assaulted, and strangled. Her body was lying on the floor of the living room, partially dressed, surrounded by signs of a violent struggle. Police immediately launched an investigation. There was no sign of forced entry, and while some items were knocked over, nothing of significant value appeared to be stolen. The brutal nature of the attack suggested rage, and detectives believed the killer may have known Christy personally. Over the years, investigators followed hundreds of leads. Dozens of men were interviewed and DNA samples collected, but none matched the evidence found at the scene. As time passed, the case went cold. Christy's family and friends were left to wonder who could have committed such a savage act and escaped justice for so long. In 2018, after more than 25 years of frustration and grief, a breakthrough came. Using genetic genealogy, a relatively new method of tracing DNA through family trees, investigators found a match. The suspect was Raymond Rowe, also known as DJ Freeze, a well-known local disc jockey who had performed at schools, weddings, and community events. Rowe had no known connection to Christy Mirack, which made the case even more chilling. Authorities speculated that he had seen her before, perhaps at a nightclub or in passing, and fixated on her. On the morning of the murder, he entered her home, likely while she was getting ready for work, and attacked. Rowe's DNA was an exact match to the semen found at the crime scene. Faced with overwhelming evidence, he eventually pleaded guilty in 2019 to first-degree murder, rape, and burglary. In court, he gave no explanation for the killing and showed little emotion. Christy's family watched as the man who had haunted their lives for decades was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The case marked one of the earliest high-profile examples of how DNA genealogy could be used to solve cold cases. Christy Mirack's family finally had answers, but their pain remained. Her students, now adults, remembered her as a kind and energetic teacher, whose life was stolen in the most brutal way.